Hello, everyone. Today I am talking about one of the most iconic women in all of history, Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt. She was powerful, intelligent, ambitious, and surrounded by drama, romance, war, and tragedy. Her story is full of mystery and inspiration, and it changed the world forever. So sit back and enjoy the incredible journey of Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt. Born to rule, Cleopatra was born in 69 BCE in Alexandria, Egypt, a city founded by Alexander the Great. She was part of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family that ruled Egypt after Alexander's death. Even though they ruled Egypt, the Ptolemies spoke Greek and followed Greek traditions. Cleopatra was different. She was the first in her family to learn the Egyptian language and truly connect with her people. From a young age, Cleopatra was educated in literature, philosophy, science, and politics. She was incredibly smart and spoke several languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Latin, and possibly even Hebrew and Arabic. Her intelligence would become one of her greatest weapons. Cleopatra was born into a world of danger. Her family was known for internal conflict and even murder to gain power. When her father, Ptolemy XII, died in 51 BCE, Cleopatra, at just 18 years old, became co-ruler of Egypt with her younger brother Ptolemy XIII, who was only 10 years old. Civil war and Julius Caesar. Cleopatra and her brother were supposed to rule together, but their relationship quickly turned sour. The young king's advisors wanted to push Cleopatra out. Within a few years, she was forced to flee Egypt and raise an army to take back her throne. Around the same time, a Roman civil war was raging. Julius Caesar, one of Rome's most powerful generals, came to Egypt in pursuit of his rival, Pompey. Ptolemy XIII had Pompey killed, hoping to please Caesar. Instead, Caesar was furious. Cleopatra saw her chance. In one of the most famous stories of her life, she had herself smuggled into Caesar's palace, rolled up in a rug or linen sack. When Caesar unrolled it, there was Cleopatra, young, charming, and ready to win his favor. It worked. Caesar supported her claim to the throne, and together they defeated her brother in a brutal civil war. Ptolemy XIII drowned in the Nile, and Cleopatra became queen once more, this time with another younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, as co-ruler. But everyone knew Cleopatra held the real power. Cleopatra and Caesar became lovers and had a son, Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Some believe Caesar truly loved Cleopatra. Others say it was a political alliance. Either way, Cleopatra traveled to Rome and stayed with Caesar until his assassination in 44 BCE. Alone again, when Caesar was murdered by Roman senators, Cleopatra returned to Egypt, heartbroken and without her greatest protector. Shortly after, Ptolemy XIV mysteriously died. Many believe Cleopatra poisoned him. She then made her son Caesarion co-ruler. Back in Egypt, Cleopatra focused on keeping her kingdom strong. She continued her father's policy of keeping peace with Rome while maintaining Egypt's independence. But a new power struggle was starting in Rome between Caesar's supporters, led by Mark Antony and Octavian, and Caesar's assassins. Eventually, Mark Antony and Octavian defeated the assassins, but now a new rivalry began between Antony and Octavian themselves. Cleopatra and Mark Antony. In 41 BCE, Mark Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him in Tarsus in modern-day Turkey. He wanted her help and money for his military campaigns. Cleopatra saw another opportunity. In another legendary entrance, she sailed up the Cydnus River on a golden barge dressed as the goddess Aphrodite. Antony was enchanted. They began a relationship that would shake the Roman world. Cleopatra returned to Egypt with Antony, and the two lived in luxury in Alexandria. They drank, hunted, and formed a deep political and romantic partnership. Cleopatra gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, and later another son. For years, Antony and Cleopatra ruled the Eastern Roman provinces together. But in Rome, Octavian was spreading rumors that Antony had abandoned his Roman wife and given his heart and loyalty to a foreign queen. This fueled political anger, and soon war was inevitable. The final war in 32 BCE, Octavian declared war, not on Antony, but on Cleopatra herself. He portrayed her as a dangerous, seductive queen who wanted to overthrow Rome. This was smart politics. By attacking Cleopatra, he turned Roman opinion strongly against Antony. The final battle came at sea. At the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, Antony and Cleopatra's fleet was defeated. Some say Cleopatra panicked and fled, and Antony followed her, abandoning the rest of his forces. Others say it was a planned retreat. Either way, they returned to Egypt, their power crumbling. The end of a dynasty in 30 BCE, Octavian invaded Egypt. Antony tried to fight, but his troops were outnumbered. Hearing a false report that Cleopatra had died, Antony fell on his sword. When he learned she was still alive, he was taken to her and died in her arms. Cleopatra knew what would happen next. Octavian wanted to parade her in a Roman triumph, a public humiliation. Cleopatra refused. In one final act of defiance, she took her own life, most likely by poison. The story goes that she let a cobra, a sacred symbol of Egypt, bite her. Cleopatra died at 39 years old. Her son Caesarion was captured and killed by Octavian. Egypt was conquered and became a Roman province. The Ptolemaic dynasty was gone. Cleopatra was the last pharaoh of Egypt. Legacy of a legend. Cleopatra's life ended in tragedy, but her story lived on. The Romans tried to paint her as an evil temptress who destroyed great men. But over time, a new image emerged. Cleopatra, the brilliant queen, the scholar, the diplomat, the fierce mother and leader. She ruled a powerful kingdom at a time when women had very little voice in politics. She played some of the greatest men in history, Caesar, Antony, and Octavian, against each other and nearly won. Even today, Cleopatra inspires books, movies, plays, and art. She remains a symbol of female power, charm, and intelligence. But perhaps the greatest thing about Cleopatra is not her beauty or her lovers, it's her mind. She survived in one of the most dangerous courts in history. She ruled alone as a woman. She outsmarted her enemies for over 2 decades. She dared to love, to lead, and to die on her own terms. She was the last queen of Egypt, but she will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching my video. If you found Cleopatra's story as fascinating as I do, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hope you learned something useful and inspiring from this amazing woman. See you next time.